you took has something that I need.
I killed him.
What?
And I'll kill you too if you don't.
Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. In today's video, we will break down Silo Season 2, Episode 8. In Episode 8, tensions rise across Silo 18 and Silo 17 as pivotal confrontations and shocking revelations shake the foundations of both silos. Let's dive into the episode.
But I need to convince him to tell me
I don't care why!
Sheriff Billings' condition. The episode kicks off in Silo 18, where Shirley confronts Sheriff Billings in the aftermath of his bold move against Bernard that severed radio communication within the silo. Shirley accuses Billings of blindly adhering to the pact and urges him to realize the growing need for decisive, morally driven action. Billings, however, remains steadfast in his belief that law and order are paramount, despite the chaos unfolding around them. Their tense conversation underscores the moral dilemmas of leadership during turbulent times. Meanwhile, at the Billings household, tensions flare when Kennedy, their child, inadvertently reveals a secret. Paul has been hiding a page from a pre-apocalypse magazine, which he discovered in Juliette's house. The magazine features an image of the before times, and Kathleen is shocked to learn that Paul didn't share this significant find with her. This sparks a heated argument between the couple, as Kathleen accuses Paul of keeping secrets at a time when trust is vital. The confrontation, however, takes a reflective turn when Paul finally shares the page with Kathleen. Together, they ponder the haunting imagery of the world that existed before the silos and debate what cataclysmic events might have forced humanity underground. Their conversation deepens their bond as they find solace in their shared curiosity and determination to uncover the truth about their origins and future. The scene highlights the emotional strain of living in a confined, secretive society while planting seeds of rebellion in Kathleen's mind.
You are quite the bastard, aren't you?
Yes.
Will Walker betray Mechanical? Over in Mechanical, tensions reach a breaking point as Walker finds herself caught between her personal anguish and the rebellion's escalating plans. Aware that Bernard is hunting for vulnerabilities, Knox, Shirley, and others push for a bold raid on supply to secure critical resources. Walker, however, remains singularly focused on Carla, her ex-wife, whose imprisonment has consumed her thoughts. After an emotional confrontation with Shirley, who accuses Walker of prioritizing Carla over their shared mission, Walker storms off in frustration. Unbeknownst to her allies, she meets with Bernard in a desperate bid to negotiate Carla's freedom. Bernard exploits Walker's vulnerability, presenting her with an ultimatum: betray Mechanical's plans or watch Carla suffer. In a moment of weakness, Walker divulges key details about the rebels' impending raid. Bernard rewards her betrayal with a brief, heart-wrenching reunion with Carla, who appears physically unharmed but emotionally broken. The encounter leaves Walker racked with guilt, but she clings to the hope of eventually freeing Carla entirely. The fallout is swift and brutal. During the attempted raid on supply, Bernard's enforcers ambush the rebels, arresting Teddy and several others. The surviving members return to Mechanical, shaken and desperate to uncover the traitor in their midst. Shirley, suspecting sabotage, confronts Walker, who deflects her accusations with unconvincing denials. Meanwhile, Bernard watches the chaos unfold through surveillance feeds in Walker's workshop, his confidence bolstered by the fractures he has sown within the rebellion. Walker's actions, while driven by love, have unwittingly placed Mechanical's survival and her own integrity in grave jeopardy. In Mechanical, a desperate Walker is torn between loyalty and love.
It's about Salvador Quinn.
Don't know anyone by that name.
Did Lucas Kyle find Salvador Quinn? Lucas Kyle's relentless pursuit of truth drives him to the Penbrooks, a reclusive family with a direct lineage to Salvador Quinn. The Penbrooks, fiercely protective of their ancestral legacy, initially rebuff Kyle's inquiries. However, his determination and subtle hints about Bernard's machinations earn him a reluctant audience with Clara Penbrook, the family matriarch. Through a combination of persuasion and historical artifacts, Kyle discovers that Salvador Quinn was more than a mere historian. He was a covert agitator against the regime that built the silos. Clara reveals that Judge Meadows, an enigmatic figure with ties to silo governance, had once sought Quinn's annotated version of the pact. hinting at hidden truths about their society's foundation. Clara's guarded statement suggests that the official pact is a heavily redacted document, erasing Quinn's warnings and resistance. Intrigued and armed with newfound context, Kyle deciphers the cryptic message in Quinn's letter. The ominous phrase, "the game is rigged," takes on a sinister tone as he pieces together Quinn's intent to expose the silos as a controlled experiment, not a sanctuary. This realization shakes Kyle's faith in Bernard, whose oppressive tactics mirror the authoritarian control Quinn sought to undermine. Kyle's internal conflict intensifies when Robert, a wary ally, confronts him. Robert cautions Kyle about Bernard's inevitable betrayal, emphasizing that loyalty to such a manipulative leader is a dangerous path. Kyle, caught between his role as Bernard's confidant and his growing doubts, faces a pivotal decision. Will he continue to serve Bernard or embrace Quinn's legacy by seeking the unvarnished truth?
I did this for you, Judge Sims. This one time.
Who helps Robert? Robert confronts Amundsen about the incident involving Lucas Kyle and his men in Meadows' apartment, but Amundsen asserts his position, reminding Robert of their past indifference toward Meadows' actions during their time in judicial. Amundsen makes it clear that he doesn't owe Robert anything now. However, Amundsen surprisingly contacts Robert later, revealing that he traced Kyle's movements. He informs Robert that Kyle is searching for a book belonging to Salvador Quinn, but warns that this is a one-time favor. Amundsen stresses that he will not assist Robert or Camille again, regardless of what happens in the future. This bold decision raises questions about what he would do if Robert ever ascended to head of IT, especially given the constant power shifts in Silo 18. Camille, however, plays the smart game by maneuvering between all sides. Meanwhile, Robert warns Kyle that Bernard will eventually discard him, just as he did with Meadows, and urges him to side with him instead of blindly trusting Bernard. Though Kyle is shaken by the warning, whether he acts on it remains uncertain.
I already put one arrow in your shoulder. One more move, and this one goes straight into your heart.
Is there more survivors? In Silo 17, Juliette grabs an axe and heads upwards, determined to figure out what happened to Solo. But as she ascends the stairs, her body starts to collapse. Now, remember earlier in the series when Solo warned her about the pressure of the water and how it affects the body. If you go down too deep, the pressure increases and it messes with your physiology. Solo had explained that you can't just shoot up to the surface quickly, otherwise you could get bubbles in your tissues and it's a one-way ticket to serious injury or even death. He told her to ascend slowly to avoid this, but Juliette's oxygen supply was cut off, so she had no choice but to rush to the surface. That's when her body starts reacting badly, and she's in danger. In a desperate move to survive, Juliette dives back into the water, fixes the oxygen line, and stays down long enough to let her body recover. It works. She feels stable enough to climb the stairs again. But as soon as she gets to the top, she's ambushed by a group of people who claim they've killed Solo. Juliette gets seriously wounded by an arrow, but being the survivor that she is, she manages to grab a first aid kit and patch herself up. Talk about resilience, right? Then things get even more heated. Juliette climbs the stairs again, only to be confronted by 3 teenagers, including one named Rickson, the son of Rick the plumber. If you're a fan of the book, these kids aren't playing around. They make it clear that they'll kill her if she tries anything smart. So we learn that Solo wasn't the only one to survive in Silo 17. These kids and their families have been living through their own struggles, and their anger towards Solo seems to run deep. Here's where it gets interesting. It seems like Solo may have done something pretty horrible in the past. Maybe he didn't share the resources he had when these kids and their families needed it most. That would explain why they're so ready to take him down now, especially since Silo 17 is about to flood. Juliette, in a way, has bought them the time they need to get their revenge on Solo. But will they actually kill her? Nah, she's got that plot armor. Solo, though, his fate is looking a little more uncertain. I think what's going to happen next is Juliette will try to bring some peace between Solo and these kids, but we'll see how that plays out in the next episodes. Ending explained. In the closing moments of episode 8, 2 pivotal revelations come to light, setting the stage for dramatic developments ahead. Bernard reveals a chilling detail about Quinn's reign. He had secretly laced the silo's water supply with a substance designed to erase memories over time. This medication effectively made the residents forget about relics and the world before the rebellion, resetting the silo's collective memory and saving it from potential destruction by the forces controlling their reality. This strategy preserved the silo's existence, but at a profound ethical cost. Notably, Bernard still possesses this medication, suggesting he may use it if circumstances demand extreme measures to maintain control. In the final scene, Juliette encounters the other survivors hidden within Silo 17. Among them is a young boy wearing steel armor, identified in the books as Rickson, a 15-year-old accompanied by a group of children and teenagers carrying a baby. These are the same individuals who attacked Solo and sabotaged Juliette's oxygen supply while she was underwater. Juliette, demonstrating her characteristic empathy, is likely to sympathize with their plight and convince them to release Solo, who holds her survival suit, her only hope of returning to Silo 18 and preventing it from sharing Silo 17's grim fate.
Let me talk to him, please.
I warned you!
Our Nerdy Thoughts Episode 8 of Silo. Season 2 expertly balances political intrigue in Silo 18 with survival drama in Silo 17. From Walker's heartbreaking betrayal to Juliette's perilous encounter with Silo 17 survivors, the stakes have never been higher. As the rebellion grows and Bernard tightens his control, the battle for the silos promises to escalate further. What did you think of Episode 8? Let us know your theories in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Silo content.
No, I'm just jacked. Look, I just need a rest, okay? Thanks.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.